Alex's heart had never thought a single decision could change his life so drastically. Years ago, he had been a young explorer stationed on Zithera 9, a planet known for its violent storms and dangerous wildlife. It was on one of those expeditions that he first saw her, a small alien girl no older than 10 trapped under the rubble of a collapsed ruin. Her large, luminous eyes were wide with terror, her tiny hands reaching out as if hoping someone, anyone, would save her. Alex didn't hesitate. He scrambled over the jagged rocks and lifted the heavy stones trapping her. The girl screamed in fear, but the moment she realized she was free, she collapsed into his arms. She was small, fragile, and trembling, but her grip on his sleeve was firm. He gave her water and shared his ration packs. She had said almost nothing, only whispered her name, Lyra. He stayed with her until the nearby patrols of her people could safely reach her. She had been separated from her family during a raid, left alone in a world that had no mercy for children. As he handed her over, she had looked up at him with a strange mix of fear and awe. And Alex had promised, almost unconsciously, that he would never forget her. Years passed, and Alex thought of her often, wondering if she had survived. Earth had its own dangers, and he had returned home after his tenure on Zithera 9 ended. Life had become routine. Earth's skies, its bustling cities, its familiar problems. But deep down, he always carried a small, quiet hope that Lyra had grown strong. That hope turned into astonishment one quiet evening. A massive shadow fell across the city's skyline. Outside his home, a ship unlike any he had seen landed silently, almost majestically. It was not hostile. It exuded authority, power, and elegance. Then she appeared. Lyra. The girl he had saved all those years ago had grown into a woman of commanding presence. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver. Her eyes still held that luminous quality, and her attire marked her as someone of immense power. She was a queen. Alex froze, unsure if he should step forward or run. The years melted away. He recognized her instantly. Lyra, he said quietly. Her gaze softened briefly before settling into the authoritative stance of a sovereign. Alex Hart, she said, her voice both familiar and unshakably confident. I hoped I would find you. She explained that her people, the Aurelians, faced a grave threat. A neighboring star system had begun aggressive maneuvers near their territory, threatening their homeworld with a potential invasion. Lyra had become their queen and was seeking allies, but more than that, she wanted Alex, the one who had saved her, to stand beside her. Alex was overwhelmed. He remembered the child who had clung to him for safety, terrified and fragile. Now she stood before him as a ruler commanding armies, her presence alone capable of intimidating even the most seasoned soldiers. Yet underneath that armor of power, he glimpsed the child he had saved years ago, the curiosity, the intelligence, the spark that had never faded. She guided him onto her ship, an elegant vessel that seemed to blend organic curves with advanced technology. The walls pulsed softly with light, almost as if the ship itself were alive. Alex could not help but feel out of place. The controls were unlike anything he had ever seen. Screens and holograms displayed star maps, energy flows, and messages and symbols he could not decipher. Lyra, sensing his unease, placed a hand on his shoulder. You are not expected to understand everything, she said, but you will help me as you did when you were 10. They discussed the impending threat. Lyra's people were advanced in ways humans could scarcely imagine. They had telepathic networks, energy-based weapons, and ships faster than light. But the enemy they faced was cunning and ruthless. Lyra wanted Alex not for his technical skills, but for his intuition, his courage, and his ability to act unpredictably. She trusted human creativity and instinct, qualities her people had learned to respect over the years. Alex felt a mix of pride and anxiety. He had never imagined that saving one child could lead to such responsibility. Yet he remembered her vulnerability, her trust, and her faith in him. That memory gave him courage. As they navigated the ship toward the Aurelians' council chamber, Alex marveled at the coordination and precision around him. Servants, advisors, and guards moved seamlessly, but all eyes, he noticed, subtly turned toward Lyra whenever she passed. She commanded respect effortlessly. He wondered how the child he had held in his arms had transformed into such a figure. The council chamber was massive, filled with representatives of various Aurelian factions. Alex felt the weight of judgment in the air. Whispers circulated about the human who had raised questions in their queen's mind. Lyra's introduction was simple but effective. She announced Alex as the human who had saved her life and had earned her lasting trust. Many delegates exchanged skeptical looks. How could a human, a being so fragile in their eyes, hold value in their advanced civilization? Alex could feel their doubt, their curiosity, and even their suspicion. But he did not falter. He observed, listened, and learned quickly. Every movement, every gesture mattered. Every human instinct he had ever honed now came into play. Their discussion was interrupted by a sudden alert. Unknown ships were approaching, their trajectory direct toward Lyra's flagship. Alex's heart raced. He had not expected this, but instinctively he moved to stand beside her. "Prepare for attack," Lyra commanded, her voice unwavering. Alex could see the tension beneath her calm demeanor. She was strategizing, calculating, but unlike her, he would act on instinct. The first strike hit. Drones, small but fast, struck from multiple angles. Alex moved before he even realized he was acting, dodging energy beams and pulling Lyra to cover. Her eyes widened, not in fear but in recognition. She had never seen someone move with such unpredictability and daring in combat. Together, they fought side by side. Lyra coordinated the ship's defenses telepathically, while Alex's actions disrupted the attackers in ways they could not anticipate. He used the environment, debris, and even the ship's own systems to his advantage. Every human instinct, every reflex, every risk he had taken in his life now contributed to protecting the queen he once saved. The battle ended with the attackers retreating, their ships damaged. The chamber was filled with awe and respect. Lyra turned to Alex, her expression unreadable, and then allowed herself a small, rare smile. "You have not changed," she said. "You are still the protector I remember." Alex felt a mix of relief and astonishment. The child he had once saved was now a queen who trusted him above all others, even in the face of threats far beyond human comprehension. He realized that his humanity, his courage, his loyalty, and his unpredictability was not only respected but needed. The story's tension remained high. Even as the immediate threat was repelled, Alex knew this was only the beginning. Lyra's enemies were numerous and relentless, and though she ruled a powerful civilization, she relied on his instincts, his bravery, and his willingness to act where others hesitated. As night fell over the city, Alex and Lyra stood at the edge of her ship's observation deck looking at the stars. He thought about the child who had clung to him in fear, and now the queen who stood before him. She had grown beyond anything he could have imagined, yet a part of her still carried the memory of his protection, and he felt honored to be a part of her journey. "This is only the beginning, Alex," Lyra said softly. "The galaxy is vast and there are dangers we cannot yet imagine. But I needed you here by my side because no one else could act as you do." Alex nodded, understanding the weight of her words. He had saved a child once, thinking it was a small act of kindness. Now that act had brought him into a web of galactic politics, war, and destiny itself. The question lingered in his mind. Could one human truly make a difference in the face of a universe full of advanced civilizations and unknown threats? He looked at Lyra and found his answer. She had trusted him once, and she trusted him now. That trust, combined with his courage, would guide him forward. Whatever lay ahead, Alex's heart was ready. The first part of their story ended with a lingering tension, a promise of adventure, and a reminder that in a universe filled with powerful beings, humanity's courage and intuition could still change the course of events. The aftermath of the attack left the ship tense but intact. Alex stood beside Lyra on the observation deck, watching the retreating enemy vessels disappear into the dark expanse of space. The stars shimmered calm and indifferent as if they had no care for the dangers below. Yet Alex felt the weight of responsibility pressing against him. He had saved Lyra once as a child, and now he was standing on the brink of something far greater, a galactic conflict where his instincts could decide the outcome. Lyra turned to him, her eyes reflecting both the stars and the burdens of leadership. "They will return," she said quietly, "and they will come stronger next time. I need more than soldiers. I need strategy, and I need someone who can act when reason falters." Alex nodded. "Then I will act," he said, his voice firm. He understood her entirely. The Aurelians were powerful, yes, but sometimes brute strength and advanced technology were not enough. Sometimes it took human intuition, quick decisions, risks, and actions that no one else would dare. The council chamber was packed the next morning. Delegates from every Aurelian faction were present, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Whispers followed Alex as he entered. He could feel their doubts. How could a human, so fragile compared to their advanced species, play a role in their defense? Lyra addressed the council with authority, presenting Alex not merely as a guest but as a crucial ally. "This human saved my life when I was a child," she explained. "I trust his judgment. I ask you to trust him as I do." Some delegates exchanged doubtful glances, murmuring among themselves. Others watched with interest. Alex could sense their tension, but he did not flinch. He stepped forward, meeting their eyes, and spoke plainly. "I may not have your weapons or your telepathy, but I have learned to survive, to think quickly, and to act when necessary. That is what I bring to this council." A silence followed. Then slowly a few delegates nodded. They could not deny his calm, his courage, and the truth in his words. Lyra's trust in him lent him credibility, but it was his presence and composure that began to sway the room. For the next several days, Alex worked closely with Lyra and her advisors. Together, they studied the attack patterns of the invaders, their tactics, and their weaknesses. Alex suggested unconventional strategies that relied not on overwhelming power, but on deception, surprise, and agility, approaches that the Aurelians had rarely used. He explained how humans had survived on hostile planets, adapted to unpredictable environments, and faced enemies much stronger than themselves with only quick thinking and courage. Lyra listened intently, her respect for Alex deepening. She had grown into a queen capable of commanding her people, but she had never encountered a being like him before. Someone who combined loyalty, bravery, and creativity in ways her people could scarcely imagine. She began to see him not just as the human who had saved her life, but as a partner in the survival of her civilization. The enemy returned sooner than expected. This time, their forces were larger and their tactics more cunning. As the first wave of ships approached, alarms blared across the flagship. Alex moved instinctively, directing personnel, creating improvised defenses, and guiding Lyra to optimal positions. His actions were precise, unpredictable, and effective. The enemy ships faltered, caught off guard by the human ingenuity they could not anticipate. Lyra, coordinating her fleet telepathically, complemented his efforts. Her strategies were elegant, precise, and effective, but Alex's unpredictability added a layer of defense the invaders could not counter. Together, they formed an unusual but formidable team. During a critical moment, a group of enemy drones breached the outer defenses and headed straight for Lyra's command deck. Without hesitation, Alex intercepted them, using both technology and raw instinct to divert their course. He moved like a force of nature, combining agility, strength, and intuition. Lyra watched, astonished, as the human she had once held in her arms as a frightened child now moved with the confidence and precision of a seasoned warrior. The battle ended with a decisive victory. The invaders retreated, their ships scattered and damaged. The council erupted in approval, and for the first time, the delegates saw the true value of humanity, not just for survival but as a force capable of influencing the course of events across the stars. In the quiet that followed, Lyra found Alex standing alone on the observation deck, looking at the stars. She approached him, her steps silent but deliberate. "You have changed everything," she said softly. "Not just the battle, but the way my people see humans. They respect you now. They trust me when I say your actions saved us all." Alex shook his head. "I didn't do it for recognition. I did it because you trusted me, because you were someone I cared about." He paused, remembering the little girl who had clung to him so many years ago. "I saved you once. I would do it again, no matter what." Lyra smiled, a mixture of gratitude and something deeper, more personal. "And I remember," she said. "That memory stayed with me, even as I grew and learned to lead. It reminded me that courage and kindness can come from the most unexpected places." The next weeks were filled with preparations for potential future attacks. Alex trained with Lyra's soldiers, teaching them human techniques for quick decision-making and improvisation. He helped design defenses that combined Aurelian technology with human creativity. Through it all, Lyra watched him, impressed not only by his skill but by his dedication, his unwavering calm under pressure, and his ability to inspire those around him. Despite the intensity of their work, there were moments of quiet reflection. Alex and Lyra often spoke late into the night, sharing stories of their pasts, hopes for the future, and thoughts on leadership. He told her about Earth, his family, and the life he had lived before Zithra 9. She shared memories of her childhood, her training, and the challenges of becoming a queen at such a young age. Through these conversations, a deep bond formed, one built on trust, shared experiences, and mutual respect. One evening, as they observed a distant star system through the ship's viewing deck, Lyra turned to Alex. "I never imagined I would see you again," she said. "And certainly not like this. You were a child's hero once, and now you are a leader, a protector, and my trusted companion." Alex smiled quietly. "And you were a child I needed to protect. That hasn't changed. Maybe it never will." Lyra's eyes softened, the weight of her crown and responsibilities momentarily lifting. "Perhaps not," she whispered. "Perhaps some things remained constant even across the stars. The galaxy remained vast, filled with unknown dangers and countless civilizations, but for the first time, Alex felt a sense of purpose beyond Earth. He had saved a child, yes, but that act had led him here, to a galaxy where his actions mattered in ways he had never imagined. Humanity's courage, ingenuity, and loyalty had earned respect among a species far advanced, and he had proven that one person, acting with heart and intelligence, could shape destinies. The story reached its conclusion not with the finality of an ending, but with the promise of what was to come. Lyra had her queenly duties, her people, and her battles, but she also had Alex, a human who had saved her, who now stood beside her, and who could act in ways even the most advanced Aurelians could not. Alex understood that his journey was far from over. The universe was unpredictable, full of threats, challenges, and mysteries. Yet with Lyra at his side and the trust of a civilization on his shoulders, he was ready. Ready to face whatever the galaxy might throw at them. Ready to protect, to act, and to prove that humanity, with all its flaws and strengths, could truly stand among the stars. As the ship sailed through the darkness, illuminated by distant suns, Alex and Lyra stood together, gazing at the endless expanse. The past, the moment he had saved a 10-year-old girl, had led them here. And now, with courage, wisdom, and unwavering trust, they faced a future that was uncertain but full of possibility. The bond between human and queen, between past and present, had become unbreakable. And in a galaxy of countless civilizations, one simple truth shone brighter than any star. The courage of a single human could change worlds, save lives, and forge alliances that might endure for generations. Alex smiled faintly, feeling the weight of the universe but also its possibilities. He had saved her once, and now he would stand with her, as a protector, as a friend, and as a symbol of humanity's potential. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time, he truly believed that they could face whatever lay ahead, together. And so, the story continued with courage, trust, and human ingenuity lighting the way through the stars.